right, we're back with another episode of the Channel 135 podcast. This is the show we talk about our favorite things in life, movies, TV shows, and pop culture. My name is Cam, and I'm here with also Eric. What's up, my brother?
Good afternoon, bro. Awesome day.
Yeah, man, another awesome day. I'm glad you're here, man. We're gonna talk about Daredevil episodes 5 and 6, which dropped at the same time this week.
Yeah,
And
that was a
probably
big
get your
surprise.
thoughts on why that is. But it's kind of obvious if you think about it, but I don't know, it might not be. But before we get into that, man, we'll just talk about some news with the Marvel universe. So Hollywood and the Marvel Studios released the cast for the next Avengers movie, Avengers Doomsday, which we know is going to star Robert Downey Jr. He's back to play Victor Von Doom, Doctor Doom character, and that was kind of weird because he's the Iron Man, so
Yeah,
he's probably not going to reveal his face at all. You know, if he's going to be Victor Von Doom. So to me, it feels like why get Robert Downey Jr. if he's not going to show his face? Might as well just get a normal anyone.
do you reckon he's not going to show his? Do you reckon he's not going to show his face?
He can't, because otherwise they'll think, hey, there's Tony Stark. You know, it's like, yeah. But no, man. What were we going to say?
No, nothing. I was thinking outside the box, like too far outside the box.
Yeah, so they've released the names of the cast, and a lot of cast is going to come back from the previous Avengers. A lot, and also a lot that aren't there also. But the thing that stuck out with me was the introduction of the X-Men within the Avengers, and we know that 20th Century Fox was acquired by Disney, and the Deadpool Wolverine movie was the first movie from Marvel Studios to feature X-Men. So, yeah, I see that Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart are gonna reprise their characters of Magneto and Professor X, respectively. So that tells me that they're gonna go back to the old X-Men 1, 2, and 3. Those casts.
Yeah, well, look at is it Nightcrawler? That was the original actor for the old school X-Men. Yeah, back in 2003.
Alan Cumming. Yeah, so he's in that. James Marsden's back for Scott Summers and Cyclops.
What if that's the same timeline? Oh, Channing Tatum and what do you call it, Gambit?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's crack up.
So, if he's in it, that means they're gonna get him from that multiverse, right?
Yeah, well, so I'm looking at the list here. Most of these characters look like they're just pulled out of anywhere, all over the place. So yeah, because even like the Fantastic Four, like when you saw their trailer, it looks like it's in the 1920s, but obviously it's a different timeline or universe. So they're really going all out with this multiverse thing, eh?
Yeah, I see. Florence Pugh is back. She was Black Widow's sister. I think she's gonna take over the Black Widow moniker on this.
Oh, true.
She's got it down as that. Yeah. The Kelsey Grammer, he's back as Hank McCoy as the Beast. So yeah, it's interesting how they picked from previous multi-universes there.
Yeah, especially in the X-Men universe. Well, we haven't seen anything. Because Sony had, not Sony. Who was it? Fox Thunderbolts. And you can see some of the old cast, but yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is the Victor Von Doom.
Yeah, so that's due out next year, May the 1st, 2026 is the release date for that. Anything else you've been watching during the week, bro?
Superhero like?
Or anything?
Just like I was saying earlier, Tina. We finally watched that. Man, to me that was like a 4 out of 5 for me. That's a really, really good movie. Some of the characters were overboard, but other than that, no, it was an awesome movie. I loved it. Finished off The Reacher. The Reacher season 3. That was just like holy shit. I was like, wow. And then there's 2 episodes of Daredevil, and what's the other one that I was talking about? Oh, 1923.
Mm.
Yeah, which is pretty. It's just ultimately sad and racist, kind of. Fuck, it's really, really deep into that.
Yeah, so I watched the first episode of 1923, and I was like, yeah, when I finished it, kind of like I'm not really interested anymore, and I think it's because of how Yellowstone turned out to be. And plus, I'm just thinking, like, man, I'm had enough of this universe, like this Yellowstone universe with all these people. Like,
All these new characters, eh?
yeah, well, to me, it didn't hit enough for me to watch some more of it. I don't want to waste my
Yeah.
time watching a program if it's just dragging on. Because the way I see it, like season 1, you expected the sun to make it there at the
Bro,
end of that season, so we can start the season as the war. But it's not even. It's still going, man. He's still trying to make his way back to America.
it's season 3 now.
And now he's detoured trying to get his Ginyu back. So it's like, what the fuck, man? So nah, man. I just don't want to. I don't want to wait around for like so many detours. I want to get to the point here, So I've like given up already. Episode 1 I watched, and I was for, nah, man, that's not for me anymore. I don't want to waste my time. So I'm not gonna watch anymore.
It's funny. It's funny you should say that, because like the whole season 1, season 2, season 3. I'm sure we're partly through season 3. He won't even get there. He'll probably get there until season 4. But it's funny, because like there's a scene where he's trying to contact the town, and the sheriff picks up the phone because the sheriff knows the family pretty well, and he finds out, he's coming over to town, and he's acting like fucking Rambo's coming to town, bro. So, no, he's just like telling the son, no, just stay there, don't come over here.
Well,
you don't need to come here, just stay there. He goes, and the son's like, no, you didn't do your job properly. You were meant to protect my brother. Now I'm going to bring the war over there. I was like, bro, how long are you going to bring the war? It's taking you like 3 seasons.
Well, here's my take on it, right? It's taking so long to get to the point, the series, right? 1923, that because we already know what happens in the future, because of the end of Yellowstone, like, who cares now?
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't. To me, it doesn't matter what happens in the past, because it all ends up well in the future. And they've gone too long with is the sun gonna come back? How are they gonna take back their land from James Bond? He's the boss. He's the boss of the bad guys. And it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, who cares now, right? Who cares? We know it doesn't happen, and it's so dragging so long. It's like, fucking, I don't fucking care anymore. Like, moving on.
All right,
so
let's move on.
I moved on, and I watched the end of Reacher season 3, and oh my gosh, man, I love Reacher when he turns into Punisher.
Bro.
Like when he turns into the Punisher, like he does it every season, right? There's moments in Reacher where he's above the law, and he just makes up his mind, fuck this shit, I want to kill everyone, and he goes and does it. All the bad guys, And that part, there's that part at the end of season 3 when he does that. I'm like, yeah, man, this is why I watch it, man, because he's up the nuts, when he gets to that kind of mode,
When he was in that mode, man, I was just like, holy shit. Just like the Terminator. Walking through the house.
Yeah. But I love it. I love season 3 better than season 2.
Yes, I agree.
I love it when Rich is by himself.
Yeah,
he's doing his missions by himself, even though had some friends to help him. But for most of the time, he's doing it all by himself. Hey, he's a loner, and I love it like that. That's why I didn't appreciate season 2, because it was like him with his old team, trying to find out who killed his team members in that.
Yeah.
So I like season 3 a lot, and I like the bad guy in season 3. He was pretty ruthless,
Yeah. It's a shame that he didn't remember who Reacher was earlier. Probably he might have had a chance.
Yeah.
But never mind.
Yeah. It was action packed, and I like the storyline, how he had to infiltrate the bad guys and go undercover, and it was just most of the series is about him covering his tracks when there's a loophole and he might get caught or find out, and he was just covering his tracks all the time.
Yeah,
and it didn't drag on like that because they could have made it, because it felt like every episode in the earlier episodes felt
he was
like
trying to cover up his tracks.
something happened that he was going to
Yeah,
get found out, and he had to cover it up. And every episode was like a new thing that happened, and he had to cover up. So I'm glad it didn't drag on like that too long.
yeah,
But
because
it tied up really well in the end there.
yeah, because but he got figured out pretty early, and I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting that later on. So that was a good thing. They were trying to move their story along, keep people engaged, and it did that. Well, it did that for me anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really good. Oh shit, I forgot to mention the other program that we were talking about. Adolescence.
So yeah, thank you for recommending that to me last episode. So I went to watch it.
Yeah,
Man, it is good. Man, I love the acting. The acting is top notch. The storyline was top notch, and it was so good that I text you guys on the chat and said, "Man, we got to do a podcast on Adolescence."
yeah.
So when I think if we get a few people that have finished watching it, we'll come back and do the episode, man, because it's a good series. I think it's one of the best series this year at the moment for Netflix, and that's not saying too much, because for me, the best stuff that comes out of TV series, whether it be on any of the streaming services, Netflix for me is like at the bottom, because to me Netflix feels like it's quantity over quality, right? And there's only a few things that come out of Netflix that are worth watching, that are really really good. Like Black Mirror is one of them.
Yes.
And Adolescence, this one was top notch too. So probably good that Netflix has it, and so it can stay on there and we can watch it anytime. But yeah, man, that's A+ for me, 5 out of 5 for me for the storyline. And you know how it's like a one shot, like one camera shot.
That's what I loved about it. Just that one camera for each episode.
Yeah, and it was cool for me how they made that decision to do it like that, because I think the way the story is told, if you do a one shot, it has to be in real time, right? It's over a period of the hour that each of the episodes where the story came out, in 1 hour bits of each episode, right?
Yeah.
And it spans over 13 months, right?
Yeah.
So to tell it in that way without skipping is awesome, right? It's a different way of storytelling, and I thought it worked with this kind of story. And because we talked about 1923, how it drags this, because of the way they did it in one shot, you can't drag it. Things have to happen for a reason within that hour slot that the program is on, because it's a one shot. So yeah, you gotta, if you're gonna tell a story that happens within the 13-month period, you pick out and you only got 4 episodes. You pick out the 4-hour slots in the story to tell the whole story that in its fullest. And what I liked about the storyline, it's from a real life perspective of what's going on with social media and internet, and how the kids react to it and all that kind of stuff, and it concerns parents and all that kind of stuff. But they've actually took dark side out of that, what happens in reality, and made it into this film to as a warning to parents what's going on with kids in social media and on the internet. So no, man, it's well done. It's well timed for it to come out this time. I felt like in New Zealand we probably don't have too much of a problem, but it could happen here, and this is like a warning of what could happen. So yeah, it's an awesome series, and yeah, man, we'll discuss. We'll try to get some more other people from the network that has watched it to come on, and we'll do an episode and just go deep dive into it, man.
Yeah,
but yeah, man. Thanks for recommending that. It's a good show.
No, I was just lucky when I heard it on the radio, and I was like, "Wow, it sounds really like an interesting show." So when I watched the first episode, I was like, "Whoa, totally engaged." Watched the whole lot one night, and watched it again. And I might have to watch it again for the next podcast.
Yeah, so I today I subscribed. I went and subscribed back to Apple TV Plus.
Yeah,
I had it before, but there was nothing really on. I watched Severance season 1, and that was good. But then after that, there was nothing else on, and I was kind of spending $15 a month for nothing, so I took it off. But I subscribed back to it because there's a couple of shows I want to watch on there, and there's one new one came out called Dope Thief. Right, it's like an action drama sort of thing where 2 guys, they do standovers, and a standover goes wrong, and now they've got the mob after them, and and so they have to deal with that. And yeah, man, it's got, I don't know the actor's name, but it's got the guy who acted as Paperboy on Atlanta. He's one of
Yeah.
the guys that does the standovers, and his mate. Not really sure what his name is, but yeah, man, that's a thing to watch on there on Apple Plus. Also, Severance season 2 is out on Apple Plus as well, and that's finished. So yeah, I liked season 1. It was kind of dragging in the front end of it, but in the back end of it became really, really good. And apparently season 2 is like the best things you can see on TV right now. So I'm
Sure.
gonna check season 2 out of Severance. There's a couple of other things I want to watch on Apple Plus as well, but can't really think of it right now. But yeah, so there's that. I also started watching season 1 that came out in 2019. And the only reason why I went to watch it, because I saw the ad for season 4, which is out right now. It's a new season of The Righteous Gemstones, which is a comedy. And it stars, what's his name? Danny McBride. So, and John Goodman. And it's a story about a family of evangelists, televangelists. So if you know like Brian Samaki and Disney's Church and their
Yeah.
style of preaching,
Yeah.
like it's all about, to me, in my opinion, it's all about like making money of everybody. And it's when the church is like, the pastor is like a millionaire because they're feeding off the congregation there. So it's similar to all those churches in the States, those hard out evangelist churches that have their pastors like got private jets, mansions, and all that kind of stuff. So,
Fuck.
but they do a similar sort of thing. But it's a
Oh,
comedy,
gosh.
so it stars Danny McBride. He's a son of an evangelist, his dad, and they're billionaires. And it's funny because they live in a compound, and each of the kids have a mansion each. So it's like 2 sons and a daughter, and the dad, because the mother's passed away, and the dad's the head of the whole church thing. It's funny because they get picked up from their private jets, and they drive separate cars, and all the same cars, and they go into the compound, and the cars split in the fork in the road, and they each go to their own separate mansions. It's a crack up beginning when it shows that. But the story is about how they're like trying to consolidate their power by taking over churches in the region and bringing them to their church so they can grab more money off the people. And at the same time, the son he's getting blackmailed from someone who's sort of spied on him and videoed him having a party with cocaine and prostitutes. So he's blackmailing the son for $1 million, and otherwise he'll send the tape to the papers and that. So there's that. But that's a crack up, man. It's just a comedy. That's funny, man. It's funny. So yeah, I didn't even know about it because season 1 came out in 2019. I only knew about it because the previews for season 4 are out now, and I saw those previews and I thought, oh man, this looks cool. I looked it up, and apparently, yeah, it started in 2019. So I went back to watch the first 2 episodes of season 1. And I was thinking, man, it was so funny. It's crack up. It's one of those movies. It's one of those style of comedy where, what's his name? Ferrell. What's his name? The comedian.
Not David Chappelle.
Oh, it's Will Ferrell.
Oh yeah.
It's, his kind of films.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of style. It's like that kind of comedy.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah.
It's amazing how because Danny McBride, I kind of like the movies he's in.
Mm.
His kind of sense of humor, it cracks me up.
Yeah.
Some of it's stupid, but it's still funny, man.
Mm.
Still really funny. I was just like really shocked to see John Goodman in there.
He's always funny. Because John Goodman, he shows up a lot in the Coen Brothers films.
Okay.
The quirky sort of films, and he's like he does comedy in his parts in those films. So yeah, he's no stranger to comedy, I guess. But yeah, if you like Will Ferrell movies, his style of comedy and those kind of comedies, The Righteous Gemstones is a similar kind of style.
Yeah, it sounds crack up, bro.
Yeah. So
Oh,
yeah.
Walton Goggins. He's in there too. Oh shit! All right.
All right, bro. I think it's time to talk about Daredevil. So yeah, man, we're gonna spoil the shit out of this Daredevil straight away. We actually spoiled a lot of stuff already. We spoiled Reacher season 3. So sorry about that. I'll probably do a spoiler warning in the at the beginning of this podcast. But anyway, we're gonna do Daredevil. So Daredevil came out on Wednesday with 2 episodes straight away. Episodes 5 and 6, right? 5 was called With Interest, and 6 was called Excessive Force. 2 very different episodes, eh?
Way different.
Way different episodes. The first one, episode 5, With Interest, was sort of like a standalone episode, eh? Like nothing to do with the main story.
Yeah.
It was just like a
just throw this in here.
Yeah, it was just like a fill in there.
Yeah.
And it was about it was about a bank robbery, and Matt Murdock was stuck in the bank with the hostages. And then the next episode 6, Excessive Force, that was pretty much going back to the main storyline, eh?
Yeah.
See what's up.
It was pushing that story forward. Both characters were getting closer and closer to, I think, where they don't want to be.
Yeah, that's right. So I said we'll talk about these 2 episodes in one whole, but I think we'll just go one by one. I'll do the recap. So the recap for episode 5, With Interest, directed by Jeffrey Nanmanoff and written by Grain Godfrey. On St. Pat's Day, Murdoch goes to New York Mutual Bank to discuss a loan for his law firm. His application is denied by assistant bank manager Yusuf Khan due to the firm's penchant for taking on clients who cannot afford to pay. After Murdoch leaves, a group of criminals led by Devlin enter the bank and take everyone hostage. They work for Luca and are attempting to steal the $1.8 million he needs to pay to Victor. Murdoch hears them and returns to the bank. When the police arrive, Devlin talks with hostage negotiator Detective Angie Kim. Murdoch takes out 2 of the robbers while Khan stalls for time at the bank vault. Murdoch opens the vault and they find a rare diamond which the robbers are targeting. Murdoch pretends to give the diamond to Devlin as the police enter the bank. Devlin gives the parcel to an accomplice among the hostages, who later realizes that she does not have the diamond. Devlin disguises himself as a police officer and leaves, but is caught and injured by Murdoch. Later, Murdoch secretly returns the diamond and accepts an offer to have dinner with Khan's family. So what'd you think of that episode?
Yeah, I thought it was just like, oh wow. But yeah, like we were saying earlier, it was just a filler. It was alright. It was interesting to see Miss Marvel's father there though. Khan. Was it Khan Yusuf?
Yeah.
So it was good. I didn't recognize him until I think it was like how many scenes later. I was like, oh, that's right. That's Miss Marvel's dad. So it's probably saying it won't be long. She'll probably put up a cameo in Daredevil. Because I forgot she's in New York as well. New Jersey, I think it is. And you got Spider-Man there too. And yeah, so might be popping up. Who knows? But yeah, no, the episode was alright. But yeah, I wasn't drawn to it that much. I was wanting to get it over and done with and then move on to the next episode. I didn't know why they put 2 episodes out there. Don't know the reason.
Yeah, it was interesting they did make that decision to put 2 episodes out there. And my thoughts were, I think they did it because this episode, especially episode 5, was sort of like a standalone one, and sort of nothing really major happens within the actual whole story. So I think they were scared they might piss the fans off. That's what I thought.
Yeah. I don't think I was pissed off about it, but I was just like, whatever. It works.
I think you would you have been pissed off if they hit this episode and that was it? Because I think when they put the second episode on, which has a lot to do with the main story, it's sort of like, okay, now we get back to it. Because I thought that if they made the decision to have this by itself, fans would be, what the fuck are we watching, man? This is like,
I'll be like, this next week gonna be the same.
I mean, because if you remember the last episode, we got to see the Punisher, and we were hyped up, man. We got hyped up. We got so hyped up. We saw the Punisher. Like, man, it's gonna get good now. And then if they put this episode with the bank, the next one, wait, what the fuck happened? Like, what's this got to do with the main story? Where's the Punisher? Like, you just put a stop to the momentum going on with the Punisher episode, right? Even though nothing really happened with the Punisher, it was just good to see him on screen. Yeah. So I think that this episode was the reason to put 2 episodes. My thinking was they didn't want to piss the audience off, the fans off, to give us this just this extra episode that's got nothing to do with the real story and just like a day in the life sort of thing.
Yeah.
And also, I was thinking, you know how we were talking about last a few episodes ago how about they structured this episode, the season, how they already did 6 episodes and scrapped the whole thing. I'm wondering if this episode was one of those ones that never got scrapped, that they kept this one.
In the original.
Yeah, it was in the original 6 episodes, and they kept this one in so they can stick it in there.
Fuck! If it was, if that was the case, man, if like the first 6 episodes were like that, fuck that. I wouldn't have watched it. Or like 2 episodes in, out. Shit. Thank God they rewrote the episodes there.
Yeah, I didn't really jam to this episode. Next. And it was kind of like a momentum killer.
Yeah.
And again, we don't have any inkling that we're going to see Daredevil at all. Besides, Matt Murdock puts one of the robber's masks on and pretends to be someone like a vigilante. But I want to ask, like, is Daredevil, like, is he a bit rusty? He hasn't been fighting for a long time because he was getting his ass kicked a little bit there with that dude, and he was a normal guy, right?
Yeah,
like, he actually got hit. He got thrown by the guy, and he hit the scaffolding. He got hit a few times. I was thinking, man, you're supposed to be Daredevil, man. What the fuck, man? Like, this is just a normal guy compared to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
This guy's not like a superhero, supervillain. He's just a normal dude, and you're struggling to beat this guy up. It's like, what the fuck, man? Are you rusty? You haven't been Daredevil for a long time. You're getting a bit, you're getting hit a few times there.
Fuck, that's why there's 2 different episodes, because you see him do that in this episode 5, and then the next episode he ups the ante.
Yeah, and I've got some criticism on that one too. But he also struggled with the guy in the stairwell.
Yes, he struggled with most of it.
Now I get he had to be quiet because he didn't want to alarm anyone. So there was extra added thing there he had to be careful of.
Maybe he didn't want to go too hard up. He might end up killing them. I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking, but yeah, he was definitely getting his ass whipped.
Yeah, so I was like, this whole episode of the bank thing, I wasn't really jamming to it. Didn't really. And I was thinking, man, what it made me do? It made me think about the Netflix Daredevils. And now I'm thinking, you know what? Does Marvel know what they're doing with Daredevil? Because we're episode 5, and this is what we're having. I'm thinking about the Netflix Daredevils season 1, 2, and 3. I'm thinking, man, those are way better.
Yep. Yeah. They're way better.
Because we haven't even seen any. Because the difference now is that this is like a daytime Daredevil, right? Where the Netflix one's all at nighttime, and it's dark, and it's real interesting and real engaging, and that sort of way. But this feels like it's all over the place. I mean, we've seen Matt Murdock as a lawyer doing his lawyer thing, and we talked about this before. How this is like a program. You take Daredevil away, and what is this? This is like a LA Law, or like.
But the lawyer can kick some ass.
Law and Order or something like that, like a Law and Order film or program, right? And I was like, do we actually need this, right? Do we actually need this? So I'm just this. I feel like this is dragging now. It's dragging a little bit.
Yeah.
And if I compare it, and we can compare it to the Netflix Daredevil, and I think the Netflix Daredevil is way better so far.
Yeah, it is. When I think about it now, it is. Oh shit. Could we be disappointed? How many more episodes have we got?
Well, we got 9, 6. So 3 more episodes to go.
Oh wow, it's almost to the end.
3 more episodes to go. So yeah, that was of interest. Yeah, this is the episode that made me think. Okay, I think we're falling here. I think we're starting to fall here. I think we're starting to fall here. This series is definitely not like the Netflix series. I know that for sure now. After this episode, I know
Mhm.
that for sure. They've taken Matt Murdock in a different direction now. You know, we're going to see what's going to take for him to be Daredevil again. Because he hasn't got, he hasn't got Foggy around. There's no Karen Page around.
Oh yeah.
He's dealing with a new love interest. We see him during the day all the time. It's like a daytime thing. There's no hardly any night. So the darkness, we didn't get the darkness part in the next episode at the end. But that, to me, the darkness bit at the end when he confronts Muse, to me, that's looking like the old
Yes.
Netflix show.
Yeah, that looks like that. That episode does look like the old Netflix show, but yeah, number 5 did it. Even the first episode of this Daredevil show didn't look like. Only the part where he was going up the staircase, that reminded me of the old Daredevil.
Yeah.
But when he was in the bar, I was like, huh? It was kind of weird, especially when he was like flying through the air and shit. I was like, that's new. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, an interesting episode 5. I'm wondering if it's just a fill-in. Because only parts of the main story is what we described in the recap was these are the criminals who are working for Victor who needs that 1.8 million to pay Wilson Fisk, and we can see in the next episode when Luca visits Wilson Fisk in his office, he says, "Shove that 1.8 up your ass." So he's disrespecting them already.
Yeah, let's get to that next episode.
Yeah.
So episode 6, number 5 in the dust.
Episode 6 entitled Excessive Force, directed by David Boyd, written by Thomas Wong. After the failed robbery, Luca visits Fisk and refuses to pay the 1.8 million to Victor. Fisk raises the amount to 2.8 million and gives Luca a week to pay it. He then learns from the city's sanitation department that Muse is using human blood in the street art. Muse later leaves the bodies of 2 victims next to a new mural as public confirmation of his actions. Fisk learns of this during a fundraiser with the city's elites, including socialite Jack DeQuincy, who are against his port rebuild plans. To deal with Muse, Fisk establishes an anti-vigilante task force, the AVTF, with additional powers and recruits notorious police officers such as Powell and former detective Cole North. Angela believes Ayala was investigating Muse before his death and asks Murdoch to continue his work. When Murdoch refuses, she goes herself and is abducted by Muse, alerted to her disappearance. Murdoch finally decides to suit up as Daredevil. He finds Muse there and rescues Angela, but Muse gets away. Meanwhile, Fisk gives Adam an axe and challenges him to a fight in which Fisk beats him and drags him back to his cell. What was your first thoughts on this episode?
I was like, holy shit. That was how many times I said that for this episode. Like, especially during the fight scenes. But I think the one scene that got me the most was when Fisk is having his fundraising dinner. And he's trying to get the support of the higher ups, to get some money for the ports in it. But those guys already know what's the deal, and it's funny how they react to him. Eh? They're not even scared of him, and he gets that too. He feels like he's like at the bottom of, like he's back to the beginning again. Like he's not even a boss anymore. He's one of like a bomb boy. And they all treat him like that. All those higher ups, all those millionaires, they all treat him like, I can see through your whole scheme. You know, you gotta have to, I don't know, make it more tantalizing for them to spend money on him. And he's getting more frustrated, I think. And you can see that throughout the whole dinner party. He just wants to get out of there. I think that was one of my favorite scenes in that whole episode. That and the fight scenes. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It was a mean episode.
The guy he talks to, Jack, he's played by Tony Dalton. That was on. He played Lalo in Better Call Saul. The bad guy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Do you remember the scene of the swordsman in the black suit? The vigilante swordsman. He's the swordsman.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Oh,
so it was him.
Yeah, he's a swordsman.
What's the name of that character?
Yeah, the swordsman.
Oh, the swordsman. Oh shit. I was wondering that's right. It was in one of the kids' say when they were taking the videos, and you had that guy doing that. I don't know what you call it, but that kind of dashing, stabbing stuff. It's in the Olympics, and he goes back and forth with the sword. Like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a cool scene
fencing.
too.
Fencing. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was a cool scene too, especially when he's talking to. So the woman he talks to, she's the woman that is on the pit that I'll be watching. She's the head nurse on the pit. Forgot her name,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, she's good in the pit. So she sort of does the same thing. She's a rich socialite that he tries to. So he, like you said, Wilson Fisk makes this event to try to raise money for his trying to get support for his new project at the docks, right?
Yeah.
But the cool thing about that scene is like he gets advice from Vanessa on how to handle these people. She knows exactly what these people are all about.
Exactly.
Like they're rich and all they want to do is be at this party so they can show how rich they are.
Yeah.
That's the only thing they want, because Wilson Fisk, he sort of tells her when they're having this conversation. It's pretty cool because they're having a conversation about how they're gonna do business, and you can see how Vanessa's really tricky. Yeah, she's really savvy at the underworld sort of stuff. She knows how to manipulate as well, and that's probably why Wilson Fisk loves her, right?
Yeah.
Because she's like a mastermind herself. So, and he brings up a point that he knows that as mayor, it's like similar to being a crime lord. But it's a different game. It's the same game, but it's with different rules. And he sort of says, "Well, I know how to manipulate people in the crime world, underworld. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I can do it here in the in the public arena, in the political arena." And he mentions that all you need to do is know what they want and and take it away. Know what people want and
Yeah.
take it from them, but hold on to it.
Yeah.
So they can ask you for it, sort of thing, right? So he's doing this in the background, and yeah, it's an interesting dynamic between the world he's in now versus the world he came from. So there's a lot of distrust with the public, especially the higher ups, like you said. So he's trying to find a way how he can use what he knows to get them on his side, sort of thing. So yeah, it's nothing new with that sort of thing. There's a lot of that going on in The Wire. If you watch The Wire show,
Yeah.
but The Wire is real life. That's what really happens. So yeah, it's cool how this program trying to bring in stuff that happens in other TV shows, like that scene, the whole scene with Fisk stomping with the big dogs, so to speak, in the event. Yeah, a lot of that comes from The Wire. And speaking of coming from other programs, like that previous episode had a whole Irish theme, right? It was on St. Patrick's Day. Had the whole Irish sort of music in the beginning and at the end, and that sort of like comes from Martin Scorsese's film, the one with Matt Damon and Leonardo, The Departed.
Yes.
The whole Jack Nicholson, the whole Irish sort of crime thing going on here. So yeah, man, it's cool how, and the obvious was the beginning with Wilson Fisk and Matt Murdock talking in the cafe, taking off Heat.
Yeah.
So a lot of crime programs getting taken off and putting in the shows and getting written into the show with influences, eh?
Yeah, it's funny you should say that. I'm saying to, what the hell? They're taking bits and pieces of different TV shows into Daredevil. The fuck? Oh,
yeah,
man.
So yeah, that was a really good scene. We talked about how so far the Daredevil series kind of doesn't look like the Netflix series, and if you, I challenge you to go back and watch season 1 of Daredevil, the Netflix one, and season even I thought season 2 was the best.
Yeah,
but
I rewatched that one.
Recently. You watched that, and you can tell the difference straight away, man. And sort of and for me, you sort of forget when you're watching this Daredevil what's going on, because it's episode 5, the bank episode, which got in my mind. Shit, doesn't even like what we've been watching on the Netflix. Like I was like, I just had that realization. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I sort of have to go back and watch a couple of episodes, maybe the first 3 episodes of season one, just to be reminded what it's really like. Because there was nothing at all critical about that series at all. I don't think they had a direction, they were going with it, and they'd stuck to it, right? And it was dark, it was violent, and it was that sort of tone that we always wanted for a Batman film. that's in this Daredevil program too, and they weren't scared to do it. So I'm wondering if with Excessive Force, this episode 6, where we get to the end where when Angela gets kidnapped by Muse, and we see Muse for the first time in action, we go to his lair. Daredevil has to come and rescue Angela. That whole scene, the darkness of that scene, sort of reminds you from the Netflix, but at the same time, falls short in a way. So I don't know if. So to me, I don't know if Marvel Television or Marvel Studios, Marvel Television know what they're doing. Know if they know how to get back to that darkness that we seen in the Netflix one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can they do it? Because they're swearing. They're saying fuck. They're swearing. There's violent scenes, but not as violent. Yeah, he snapped the leg of the guy in episode 5, and we saw the violent scene in the beginning when he's fighting Bullseye.
Yeah.
But it's not really nothing else. Not really, and Whiteside gets shot in the head, but it's not hitting. It's not hitting for me.
Yeah. I think we can tell if when Marvel makes the Punisher, if they do make the Punisher TV series, because that's I think that's the standard of violence. The Netflix Punisher is the standard violence should be for all TV shows if they want to bring violence in it, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
But if Marvel's falling short on Daredevil,
yeah,
at least I think they are. Then how exactly how are they going to treat the Punisher? This is going to be Punisher PG. This is like Daredevil PG compared to what the Daredevil we saw on 3 seasons at Netflix.
Yeah,
right?
Bro. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm wondering if Marvel has it in them to go all the way. I mean, they showed Wilson Fisk come down the stairs of the X, right? And it's he's going to chop that guy up.
I thought he was going to chop the guy, but when he gave the guy the X, I was like, oh, okay. But that makes sense. But I thought he was going to kill him.
Yeah.
I think the Netflix Wilson Fisk would have clobbered him onto the wall. Man, you're making me rethink this show now. Shit.
Nah, I don't mean to. I was just saying, like, for me.
I get what you mean, because there's one scene that sticks in my head from the old Netflix series. Was the one where the criminal is running. I think there's a bunch of criminals running down the street. I think they stole diamonds or something. They all get taken down one at a time by the Daredevil, during the night. And then the criminal runs past these kids, and there's a girl standing. And then he takes the girl, and they end up in the church. And then he goes to the back of the church, and then he's just like waiting for the Daredevil, and you don't see him come in because it's so dark. But the lights turn down low, and he's in the back. I go, man, where's that in this show? It seems like that. It's like, fuck. Yeah, I'm starting to rethink the show now. No.
Well, they made a decision. They wanted Matt Murdock to be born again, like the show says. They wanted to strip him from what we had in the Netflix shows and strip him back down to his bare bones of Matt Murdock in the new outside of his neighborhood. He's not even living in Hell's Kitchen. He's in Manhattan, and he's got new characters around him. And he's not Daredevil, so we're seeing more of Matt Murdock in this one as a lawyer. And yeah, finally we're gonna have him suits up.
Well, this is the first time he suits up, right?
This is the first time he's suited up since Foggy died. Yeah. And it's interesting because they at the same time they cut back to Wilson Fisk, because at the same time Wilson Fisk is showing he's not being the person he's trying to be. He's back to being Wilson Fisk. And it's funny, there's that scene when he puts on his jacket and it rips. So he's getting bigger. So he's getting more to be the Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin we know, because Kingpin is a big dude, right? So he's getting bigger. So it's like a metaphor for he's getting back to his old self, his big Kingpin self, right?
Yeah.
So at the same time, when Matt Murdock is dressed up in Daredevil, he's going to look for Angela. He's fighting Muse. At the same time, Wilson Fisk is going back to Kingpin mode, and he goes down the basement and beats up on Adam. So yeah, we can see that what they've told each other at the first episode when they're in the cafe, that they will never go back to their old selves. They have, right? Under
Yeah,
the circumstances, they have. So now they've
it's not.
crossed the line. And that's why we go back and forth between Wilson Fisk and Daredevil in that last scene to show that they're back doing what they said they weren't going to do.
Mm.
So from now on, I think you're going to see more of Daredevil. You're going to see more of Wilson Fisk as long as Adam's alive. I think Adam's still alive. But how long do you think he's in there for? This is long. His hair's long in that. Shit.
Yeah, it
He
looks
has a
like he's
shave.
been there. He's been in there for ages.
Mm.
Well, you do hear Vanessa saying he's good with his hands, so he must be like some kind of arty type person. It's not working out for him in the dungeon, bro. He's getting fucked up.
Yeah. So Muse is a serial killer. Making a fight, man. He's doing some kung fu. Like, hey. So I was
Bro.
like, does this guy?
And you know what? You know what the funny thing is?
Mm.
Daredevil was manhandling that guy. Like that guy didn't even have any counters, man.
But he was still getting up. He was still getting up.
Yeah.
So
But I was
that's pretty bullshit, right? Daredevil can just knock him out, and that was it.
Yeah, that's right. He had him dangling on that on the wall.
But he was fighting back. So
yeah, he looks like a head-to-head combat type of dude.
Mm.
I was buzzing out with the paint when they were saying that it was people's blood. I was like, holy shit. They couldn't even take it off the wall.
Yeah. So we talked about those cops, the bad cops, and yeah, it looks like they're under Wilson Fisk now, and they were like so happy that Wilson Fisk came to see them and sort of like acknowledge why they are like that, why those cops sort of formed a gang or formed a mutual respect between the cops that had something injustice done upon them, whether it be they had a bad supervisor and they got in trouble for that for no reason when they're trying to do their job. So they're like disgruntled cops, so they formed this little group, help each other out and be sort of vigilantes in their own right, That's why they're wearing the Punisher's skull. They'll probably look up to the Punisher, respect what the Punisher does. He goes out and kills crime, so they don't have to do paperwork and that. So that's sort of the cop version of that, right? So Wilson Fisk has acknowledged that, and he knows there's this group, and he uses this group to sort of be his men, right? Be the guys that he'll tell them what to do. It's interesting that he called them the anti-vigilante task force because Muse is not a vigilante. He's a serial killer. He's a straight bad guy. So Wilson Fisk sort of uses him as because he says this guy's got a mask.
Yeah, anyone that's got a mask, bro.
Anyone who's got a mask. So it's not like he's not a vigilante at all. He's a serial killer. He uses the mask to get his way, right? And he calls those cops the anti vigilante squad.
Oh man, crack up. It's gonna be funny when Frank comes out because if he does come out, because Frank obviously doesn't wear a mask, so where does that put that group?
But I like the writing in this bit because when Wilson first acknowledges one of the cops, the coal guy, and he says, "Oh, you're a cop in Chicago. What happened? What happened to you there?" And he tells a story about, he went to stop this drug dealer giving drugs to kids, but his supervisor told him off or something,
Yeah, he got in trouble for it.
He got in trouble for it.
Got off.
So yeah, the other guy got off it. You feel for this cop,
Yeah,
because he's trying to do good, and then you feel for the story. And you're like sort of like on his side, because now you know that these cops got no choice. They've had some bad experiences trying to get the bad guys. These bad guys get off for some reason or another, whether it be for technicality or some other reason or another. And they're disgruntled. You feel sorry for them, You know why they are like they are. So if the Punisher does go around to kill them, you're like, shit, you're in this moral dilemma now. Who do you feel sorry for the most, right? So that's an interesting dynamic there. What's going to happen? Because when that cop sort of turns to the cop that we know, the cop that that's always in a fight with Murdoch, and they sort of nod at each other.
Yeah.
They nod at each other twice, and they nod because they can't believe Wilson Fisk is telling them what they always wanted to do.
Yeah, they're like unsure. They're like, hey, is this guy for real, or can we go like just kick people's asses?
Yeah.
It's like, He's giving us the green light.
Yeah, he's giving us green light. Yeah, and now to me, it's like, okay, this is gonna be a weird dynamic now when Matt Murdock beats these guys up, or there's a confrontation now, right?
Yeah.
Now there's a moral confrontation now with you. Like, these cops are trying to do good because bad stuff's happened, but vigilantes are trying to do good, take the law into their own hands.
Yeah, and Wilson knows this. Fisk knows this,
and they're gonna fight each other. It's like, shit. What's the point here? But yeah, it's kind of cool. I like that. I like that confrontation that's about to happen. Yeah. It's gonna play with your emotions, man.
Yeah. You feel sorry for them, but it must be because they don't follow the proper process, and these criminals go loose, and so it's all them. But yeah, it is out of a dynamic.
Well, there's an easy answer for that. In my books, you just gotta, as a cop, you just gotta play by the book.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't go your way, you can move on. Be professional about it, right? Don't take it too personally. Because if I was those cops, I'll be thankful that there is the Punisher out there that can take care of it. If the law can't take care of it, the Punisher will.
He's gonna take care of it. It was funny too when Fisk pointed out he wanted to put the tactical group together, and he had some men in mind, and then he gave it to the commissioner, the police commissioner, and he's like looking through each person. He goes, "Oh, these are the bad apples."
Yeah.
Like he knew straight away. He knew each one of them. Like, man, these guys are bad news. So I was like, wow, true. But when we saw that picture of that cop that is always fighting with Matt, I obviously knew, oh, fuck. Now he's going to come out with his own crew.
So I think in terms of the series as a whole, Excessive Force was pretty good in my books. I mean,
yeah,
if episode 5 took us away from the main storyline and gave us something extra, then episode 6 brought us back into the world and moved the story along forward a bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we're slowly going to get to reveal the Kingpin and Daredevil back into the storyline again. But man, it took 6 episodes to get things started. But then I'm thinking, like, because we talked most about how different this is from the Netflix series of Daredevil. I think you gotta accept that this is a different approach, and it is. Marvel's taken over. They've caught this Born again. They've taken Matt Murdock in a different direction. This is the result of it. This is like what happened. So it's either you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to be into this storyline. It's entertaining. I'm going to see what happens. It's not as good as the Netflix, but I'll see how this ends up.
Exactly.
I think this is where I am at with the season so far.
It's not as good, but bro, might as well see it to the end. Yeah, no, there were some good scenes in there. I was cracking up the scene with the Moose when he goes through the train tunnels. He can hear something. I don't know how he heard it, but he could hear something coming his way. And he's like, as the train passes by, and he's looking down the tunnel, and it's all like bloodshot red. You can just see the shadowy figure running up towards the tunnel. I thought that was crackle.
Stupid scenes. Any stupid scenes? I thought the stupid scene was the 2 girls when they got killed. Like, are you the Muse? Can we take a photo? Like, what the hell, man?
Oh, man, that guy's a serial killer. He's a serial killer for a reason. You want to take a photo of a serial killer? Dumbass. Oh, yeah. That was stupid, that one.
So you don't think that's what I say? You got any more to this?
Nah, I don't think so. We'll see what happens in the next episodes.
Yeah. Well, 3 more episodes to go. Looks like we're gonna have a cliffhanger, and then season 2 I think season 2 is coming out early. It's not gonna. We don't have to wait a whole year for season 2.
Oh wow!
But yeah, look forward to the next one. Okay. Also looking forward to in April. You mentioned that. So Last of Us season 2 and Andor season 2. We'll be covering that when those come out.
Yeah, especially Last of Us. Man.
Yeah, Last of Us.
It's gonna be good.
Okay, that's us for another episode. Thanks for jumping on, like always. And man, we'll catch you back next one. And Daredevil episode 7. And we'll get together with the boys to see who wants to do Adolescence.
Yeah,
so we'll break that down. Yeah.
Hard up.
Good series, Adolescence miniseries. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on Netflix. Starring
Yeah.
Stephen Graham and the black dude from Top Boy. Hey, do you ever been watching Top Boy?
No, but yeah. The black, that is the same actor, right?
Mm.
Detective.
Alright, loose.
Okay. Bye.